academic coordinator, so we prepare courses, exams, books, and in the academic portion of the university. I and others help you with the course material and which courses to choose and how to find the material to study and what kinds of assignments to do. So we're here to help you with that. But today we're going to talk about phase one. So welcome to the webinar. Welcome to this webinar about phase one development. I'm going to show you how to do and complete phase one. So ask questions at any time. Ask a question. It is good to ask questions about anything. You don't have to ask a question just about phase one. You can ask a question about anything. Okay, so let me get set up here so we can get started. Get the presentation going. And I'll be looking down there at the chat box. If there's a question or a comment, then we can incorporate that into our discussion. Okay, so here we are, phase one at AIU. I'll have to open up the chat box so I can see there. Let me check to see if there's any messages here. Hello. Okay. Hello, Charles. Welcome. Checking. Okay, good. Now I can see the chat. All right. So this is phase one at AIU, and this tutorial will present only phase one. So let me give an overview first of the phases. There are 4 phases in your program at AIU. Phase one is you're going to introduce yourself to us and organize the vision of your program and a few other things. You're going to verify your past education. So basically, you're establishing the foundation just to get started with your courses. So that's phase one. And then in phase two, you're going to do your core curriculum courses of your major and electives. So when you start doing your courses, that's when you go to phase two. So you have to complete phase one first in order to go to phase two. And then in phase three, you will do a thesis. Not all students have to do a thesis. For example, in the United States, bachelor students do not do a thesis. So if you are doing a bachelor's program, keep in mind that you do not have to do a thesis, but in your country, in many countries, the bachelor students need to do a thesis. That's part of what's expected of them. So in the master's and the doctorate program, the thesis is a part of the program, but in the bachelor's, it's really optional, but some students need to do that. And then once you make it to phase four, once you have enough credits to go to phase four, then you can start the procedures of graduation. Okay, so those are the 4 phases. Phase one is just to get you going, get you started, and you'll learn a little bit how to work with the student section, how to submit courses, how to read them. So phase one gets you acquainted. You get familiar with how to use the system. It can still be confusing in phase one. That's why we're doing this webinar, to show you step by step how to do phase one. And this will help you get familiar so that when you get to phase two, you'll know how to work the platform. You'll know how to work your student section, find your courses, and submit assignments. Okay? Now, whichever phase you are in, well, over here on the right side of the presentation, whichever phase you are in, you can always submit courses from lower phases. So for example, if you're in phase 4 in the process of graduation, you will be able to submit courses from phase 1 all the way to phase 2, which means you can still submit phase 1 courses even in phase 4. Well, you can submit phase 1 courses at any time in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, or phase 4. You can always go back and complete phase 1 courses that you didn't complete before. Always keep in mind at AIU, in order to stay active in our computer system, you have to submit at least one assignment every 30 days. If you do not, the AIU computer system will mark your program as inactive. So you can always find something to submit every 30 days. A document, a report, an assignment, an exam, an online exam, many, many things. An elective, current event analysis. You'll see. When you get to phase 2, there's a tutorial webinar for phase 2. It explains all the little courses and all the big courses and all the major courses that you can work on in phase 2. So just keep in mind that you always have an assignment due every 30 days. So work on that. Try to decide if you're working on a major course that you feel you need 2 months to do, you can always write a smaller essay within a couple of days just to submit an assignment. And maybe you just get 1 credit, but it keeps your program active. So that's the important thing. Okay. Moving on to, don't see any questions yet. Okay, so here's the overview of phase 1. There are 3 objectives in phase 1. You're going to introduce yourself to us. You'll see there's a course like autobiography. You're going to write an autobiography of yourself, and that helps us know who you are, how you've come to this point to study, what changes took place in your life, what conditions do you live in, what's your culture, what visions do you have of the future, and how you're going to fit the education of AIU into your life. That's all worked into the autobiography. We're also going to look at your curriculum vitae, your resume, and so we'll be able to see where you have education, where you have worked. We're also going to see some things about your community activities, whether you volunteered. So you're going to introduce yourself to us. That's part of it. So some of this will introduce you to us. And you'll also verify your previous educational standing for the program that you have in AIU. So in phase 1, you're going to upload, submit a document of the certificate or diploma that allows you to study your program. So for example, you'll see if you have a bachelor's, you'll need to submit like a high school diploma. If you're doing a master's degree in AIU, we'll need to see your bachelor's diploma or your degree copy of it. So that's part of laying the foundation and verifying your studies at AIU. And number 3, you're going to define your vision and objectives for the courses that you want to study. And that's mainly the optional courses you'll see in phase 1. Helps you define your vision and objectives for the courses that you want to study, so that you understand how these courses are going to fit into the broader perspective of your life and how it's going to impact your life and how it's going to make your life better or how it's going to change your life. So these are other optional courses to help you get into the context of the AIU education into your life. So we're going to go through all these courses. Now, there are 8 total courses in phase 1, but only 3 are required. The other 5 courses are optional. Each course falls into one of the 3 objectives above. So I've already explained that some, like the autobiography, introduces yourself. The portfolio course will verify your previous educational standing. And something like philosophy education course, which is optional in phase 1, or the integration chart is optional, and the questionnaire is optional in phase 1. Those help you define your vision and it helps us get a better idea of what you want to learn. Okay, so all courses in phase 1 receive credits towards your graduation. Keep that in mind too, that the courses receive grades and credits, and they will show up on your transcript. Now, once you complete the 3 required courses of phase 1, you will move to phase 2. And then you can start your core curriculum courses of your major and electives and many other courses. You will still be able to complete the other 5 optional courses in phase 1, even when you are in phase 2 to phase 4. So if you just want to get to phase 2 quickly, you do the 3 required courses, you move to phase 2, you can do your courses, but you can also go back and do the optional courses. Say, for example, your program goes inactive because you have not submitted an assignment in the past 30 days. Well, you could go back to phase 1 and complete one of those optional assignments that you didn't do in phase 1. You can do it in phase 2. Some of those courses only take an hour, sometimes 30 minutes to an hour to complete online. You do those, and that'll keep you active for that month. Okay, let's continue on. I don't see any questions yet. Feel free to ask questions. Okay, so here we go with the courses of phase 1. We've looked at the overview of phase 1, the objectives, and now the courses. The 3 required courses of phase 1 are the organizational theory, that's the portfolio. We want to see a previous document of your education to validate your program at AIU. And we also want to see number 2, experiential learning is the autobiography. I'll explain these in more detail. I just want to put all the courses here on one slide so that you can see the difference between the 3 required courses and the 5 optional courses. And number 3, the 3rd required course is communication and investigation, comprehensive resume, which is your curriculum vitae. Now, once these 3 required courses are completed, your phase 2 will be activated. And then these 5 optional courses on the right side of the screen. Wait a second. I see a question here, Beatriz. I had a question about the comprehensive resume. It's very extensive. What if not all areas apply? If not all areas apply, you don't need to answer those. You only answer those areas that you have information for. So for example, there's room for maybe 3 past jobs, employment. Let's say you've only had 1. Then you just fill out the first one of your past employment in that 1 job, and then you leave the others blank. That's all you can do. So you only fill out the information you have, not everything. Okay. Now, the 5 optional courses in phase 1, there's going to be a questionnaire. There's a guarantee of an academic degree. That's the development of a graduate study. The fundamental of knowledge, integration chart. Fundamental principles, number 1. Philosophy of education. And professional evaluation. It's an evaluation matrix. I'm going to explain all of these courses as we go. Okay. All right. Now, when you're viewing these courses online, you're going to see this little picture right there with step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And you'll see that step 1 is a video, step 2 is an explanation, step 3 is an example, step 4 is you start the course. This is how it's going to look online. Now the video, if you push that tab right there where it says video, you will watch a video that explains how to do the course. Now, if you cannot see the video, try using a different browser like Chrome or Internet Explorer. Some browsers have a hard time opening the videos, so you might have to just use another browser. Like Mozilla Firefox sometimes has a problem opening up that video. The second tab is explanation. And here you can read a document that explains the course in case you cannot view the video. The videos are very good, but if you can't see them, then you can read about the course and get an idea. Then you go to tab 3 to actually see an example of the course, or a sample of the assignment, what it's going to look like when you're done, what kind of information it's going to ask for. And then, after you understand the course and you've seen an example, you go to the tab number 4 and start the course. And there you can complete the course. Just follow the instructions and save your work as you proceed. Okay, now I'm going to show you what this looks like online. If I can get over here. And make sure we're all fresh and ready to go. And feel free to ask any questions at any time. I want to get a better picture here of the screen. Okay, so here we are in a test student page. How do you find these phase 1 courses? Well, you're going to go down phase 1 right here. And you can open this up just by clicking on it. In this particular test page, you cannot open phase 2, phase 3, or phase 4 yet because phase 1 has not been completed. So let's open up phase 1. Come on down. And here you'll see the 8 courses. The portfolio, the questionnaire, the comprehensive resume, autobiography, guarantee of an academic degree, integration chart, philosophy education, and the evaluation matrix. Now, Beatrice has already asked about the comprehensive resume. So I'm going to open that up right now so you can see. You open that up, and what you're going to see is what I showed you before. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Now, right now, tab 4 is open. So I'm starting the course. But let's say you wanted to go back and look at the video. So I'm going to click on the video here. There we go. Run the Adobe Flash. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear the video play right now, or if you're just going to be able to hear me talking through the microphone. But the video is playing right now. I can't even hear it. So here, let me make an adjustment here. Are you able to hear that video? So that's the video. Then you'll see the explanation. I'm going to the explanation now. And you'll see this is a document that you can read. It talks about submission options online or offline, how you can do that. I'll go over that on how you can submit courses later. And then what is course communication? Then it gives you down here an explanation of the course. And let's say you want to see an example. Go to tab number 3. This example. And this is what we actually see when you actually fill it out online and submit it. This is what the file looks like that goes to the advisors so that they can grade and verify that your resume or curriculum vitae has been submitted. So this is all the information. Not everything has to be filled out, only what you have information for. Just, as you can see, it's kind of extensive. The other option on this course for the comprehensive resume is just you make up a resume and you submit the file. You upload the file to the course. I'll show you how to upload later. Right now, this is when you see these steps 1, 2, 3 here, when you see these steps, that's for submitting a course online. You go online and you can submit these courses. Now, if you want to submit the course offline, which is another option, I'll show you how to do that later. That's when you have a file in your computer, just upload the file to the course. So, in this example of the comprehensive resume, you can fill out all the information. Just go to start the course. You can go through filling out the information. Your student name will automatically pop up. Your student ID number will automatically pop up. And here you can browse and select a picture, a driver's license, a passport, some sort of identification to verify that you are you. So going down in here, you can see that you can start filling out information in these boxes. And then when you're finished filling out that information, you go to save and add more. Are you sure you want to add more record? Yes. Oh, save and continue. Okay. Okay, so that save and add more was to actually add another program. But what I wanted to do was go down here to save and continue. Oh, you can't go forward until you upload a form of identification. Do you see that right there? Please select file. So you have to upload a form of identification in order to continue this online process. And I'm not going to do that right now. Just want to show you how you move through these programs. Okay, so this is basically what I wanted to show you up until now. These steps. But this is what you're going to see when you do the course, any course really, online. Beatrice asks, is there a difference between online and offline? Yes. What you're seeing here, the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, that's online, submitting a course online. If you want to submit a course offline, you come up here, see the submit an assignment dark blue box where it says submit an assignment? I don't know if you can see my mouse hand underneath, but the submit an assignment box, I'm going to click on this dark blue submit an assignment box. If you look up to the left, click on there, and then you're going to be able to select a course. Drop the list down, and here are phase 1 courses. Now let's say you have your resume, you have your curriculum vitae as a file in your computer. Well, you click on comprehensive resume, and here you'll see the 2 options, submit online or submit offline. If you click submit online, if you click submit online, you'll go back to that page where you see the steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Now, you have a file in your computer ready to go. There's nothing you need to do online. So then you submit offline, clicking this little this link submit offline. Now, when you get here to submit offline, you just click right where it says drag and drop file here, or click. You click upload file right there, and then it'll take you to the folder of your computer, to the documents and the folders, and you can search the document, click on it, load it. This is submitting a course offline. You're not seeing step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. You're just clicking on the course, uploading a file. And then when you have the file uploaded up above, you can upload up to 5 files. In any course. In any course, you can upload up to 5 files. So even for the portfolio course, I'll show you here in a bit. So, but once you, like in this case, once you have your comprehensive resume uploaded up above, then you push this green box down here, upload for grading. Then your curriculum vitae, your resume, goes directly to your advisor, and it's evaluated. And if it looks good, it's approved, and you get 2 credits for the comprehensive resume course. So that's how to submit a file offline. I'll go over that again later. Keep the questions coming. It's always good to ask a question at any time. I'll cover a lot of this stuff later, but it is always good to ask at any time. Because once you ask a question and you get the answer right away, then you understand, and then we can move on. It's when if you're just sitting there with a doubt about how to do something, then you begin maybe to not understand other things. But once you understand, like for example, in this case, once you understand the difference between online and offline, then it makes it easier to move forward. Knowing that when you look at these 8 courses, you can submit them online or offline. One way is easy, the other way is easy. You know how to do them. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's see, Beatrice has another question here. How long does it take to complete phase 1? If you have your, how long does it take to complete phase 1? If you have your resume, your curriculum vitae already complete, and you have a document from your high school or from another university that allows you to continue your education with AIU, if you have that document or even a photo of it, so if you have your resume and your certificate or diploma, all it takes is 30 minutes to write your autobiography. Page or 2 about your past, present, and future plans. You can complete phase 2 within an hour. You just upload your diploma, upload your resume and curriculum vitae, and then you upload an autobiography. You could have your phase 1, 3 required courses of phase 1 complete within 30 minutes if you're ready with the documents, or even 15 minutes if you can write a biography in 10 minutes. So most times students think they have to complete all 8 courses, and it slows them down. It's really best to concentrate on the 3 required courses. Get that certificate, that diploma that validates your program at AIU. It's really good to actually write out your own resume, to know how to format it. You can actually go into the AIU library. I don't have the link on that right now, but there's a good book with sample resumes, sample curriculum vitae. And with those samples, you can write up your own, see the correct format so that it's professionally done. So then when you need to go look for a job, you have a resume that's perfectly formatted, that looks professional. So it's actually good to do that. If you already have one up, you can go through phase one easy. If you want to do your own curriculum vitae resume, it may take you a couple of days to really format it correctly and write it. Just keep that in mind. Or you can just go online, complete the form for the comprehensive resume, and just fill out what you know about your past, your education, your employment history, and community activities. You could have that done within an hour. So all in all, phase one should be completed within a day if you have things ready and you know how to proceed. And then you can have your phase two activated really quickly. Now, I've seen many students stay in phase one for weeks and rarely months, and so we have to contact them and, okay, what's the problem in phase one? What's the complication? Why aren't you moving forward? Most times it's, well, I'm waiting for my previous school to send me the diploma, to send me a certificate, or to send me the results of my national exams, and I can't upload it. Well, in a case like that, we can make an exception. If you finish your comprehensive resume and your autobiography, and we understand that you're having problems getting the certificate, and you're in the process of getting it, so that you don't slow down, we can move you to phase two. You can start your phase two courses, and then when later the certificate and diploma come, then we go back to phase, upload it, verify the portfolio course, and you keep moving on. But you don't lose time with your phase two courses. So if you have a problem in phase one, let us know, and we can help you figure it out so that at least you can move to phase two and keep your courses and your studies going. Is that clear? Any questions about that? Okay. Um, okay, so now I want to talk about the 3 required courses. I've already talked a lot about this already, explaining the other things, but I just want to get a slide presentation of just the 3 required courses. You just have to complete these 3 to move on to phase 2. And then you can do your other phase 1 courses later when you need to maybe keep active in your program. So keep that in mind. The organization portfolio, I want to check something. I should say right here that this the portfolio course, number 1 here, gives you 1 credit. The number 2 here, the experiential learning autobiography, that will give you 1 credit. The communication and investigation, the comprehensive resume course there, number 3 on this list you see, that will give you 2 credits. So the 3 required courses will give you 4 credits in all towards graduation. I didn't have that listed here of how many credits for each of these courses. I wanted to mention that. Okay, checking to see if there's any questions. No more questions? Okay. So the organization theory course, this number 1, is the portfolio. In this course, you submit documents verifying that you can study your AIU program. For a bachelor's program, you submit a copy or photo, you can scan a copy, of your high school certificate or national exams. If you have already studied courses at a bachelor's level, you can submit documents showing those courses too. Then for a master's program, you submit a copy or photo of your certificate or diploma of a bachelor's degree. And also, some students have already done some master's work at other universities. So you can also submit those courses too of some master's work that you've done to validate the master's level program at AIU. And then for a doctorate degree, you submit a copy or photo of your certificate or diploma of a master's degree. Okay? Once we get that, the course is approved. You get 1 credit and you move on. Let's see. Adrian Casas asks the question, so what is the maximum of credits I can get in phase 1? Okay. You'll get 4 credits with the required courses. And then in the 5 optional courses, 2 of them receive 2 credits. So you'll get 7 credits with the optional courses. So 7 credits for the optional courses, 4 credits for the required courses. In all, you can get 11 credits in phase 1 towards graduation. And all 11 credits will appear on your transcript as a process of developing the foundation of your education, which is very important to do. Phase 1 is actually important to go through that process of understanding and developing your education and planning some of the complications that are involved in study. We'll get into that a little bit. Okay, so Adrian Casa says, max in phase 1, the transfer credits add up in phase 1. So yeah, so let me write that. You can receive a maximum of 11 credits in phase 1. 4 from the required courses and up to 7 from the optional courses. So that's really good. You know, most of the phase 1 courses are 1 credit. 3 of them receive 2 credits. One here is the comprehensive resume. Let me go on to the next. I want to say about number 2 here, the experiential learning autobiography. Write 1 to 2 pages about your past, present, and future plans as they relate to your studies in AIU. So it's good to talk about your life, your family life, your history, your community. But we also want to know, at what point in your life did you want to study your major? Let's say at AIU, your major is environmental science. At what point in your life did you decide, I want to study environmental science? What happened? Why did you make that decision? And in that moment, what was your vision? What did you want to do with environmental science? So you write that in your autobiography. And that helps us know who you are, what you want to do. And it also helps you and us decide on your course. Maybe in environmental science, you want to focus on air pollution, or maybe you want to focus on wastewater management, or maybe you want to focus on cleaning up polluted areas around rivers. So you can focus your course on particular things. And maybe you want to work with the government. So then we can have some courses on how to work with governments and develop a grant or develop a government program to clean up pollution in certain areas. And maybe you want funding. We'll develop a course on how to get funding for a program or project in your future. So once you understand why you're studying environmental science, for example, then you begin to see, oh, I'm going to need to study pollution, government programs, how to fund a program, how to write a grant, and how to gather the information. So then, through that autobiography, you'll be able to see what courses you need to study in order to have specifically the knowledge that you have for your vision of your major. Okay, I hope that's clear, because phase one really helps you understand where you're going. It helps us understand where you're going, because you could just say, okay, I want to study environmental science. Okay, here are courses on air pollution, water pollution, wastewater management. And maybe we don't really understand, if we didn't have the autobiography and some of the other courses in phase one, maybe we wouldn't understand that you need to understand grant writing, how to work with the government program, and all these things, the checks and balances that you need to do, and maybe even project management. You need a course in project management to be able to plan a project to clean up a certain river in your community. Well, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, is that the phase one helps us really understand how to give you the exact and specific courses that you need to do the best in your future, to be really prepared to do what you want to do. Okay, so let's move on. Now we'll look at the optional courses. Okay. You can see here the 5 optional courses and the credits they receive. So you'll have the questionnaire. This course is designed to help you balance life between work and study, so that you can plan efficiently to study. When you study online, you have to become really self-disciplined. You have to be able to organize your own study routine, because you decide when to submit an assignment. You decide when to write your assignment. You decide when to read. There aren't specific deadlines in your courses. We just need you to submit an assignment every 30 days. But you are the one that needs to organize your time. You have to have the discipline and the routine to understand the responsibilities to your courses. So this academic evaluation, the questionnaire, will ask you about who you are and how you study and how you think about studying and what, the responsibilities, so that you really develop the concept and the context that the responsibility is on you to really study and prepare your assignments. We are here to help you with books, exams, and other study material, and we can send you guides on how to do the assignment. But it all comes down to you. It all comes down to your responsibility to study and prepare your assignment and then submit your assignment. And of course, if you have a problem submitting your assignment, let us know. We can help you submit your assignment if somehow it's complicated. So that's the questionnaire. Is, I think, 38 questions. Let's go back here. See if we're still up and running here. Going into the questionnaire course right now. Get in. Let's see, any more questions down there? Nope, no more questions. So here you get into the questionnaire course. And you'll see right here, jump to step. See how it goes out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's say we wanted to go to step 12. 13, actually. You'll see a question. You'll see 3 options, A, B, and C. You see the past as an educational experience helping you to live the present time. Or maybe B, you sometimes mull over the past. You think rather a lot about the future, a certain degree of anxiety. Or maybe C, you constantly worried about the past and the future. You tend to mull over past injustice and or about the good old days. You are governed by your projections of the future. So now you come down here where it says select answer, and you select A, B, or C. Whichever one describes who you are. Now you can see from this question that if you have anxiety about the future or the past, that will be a block to you being able to complete your courses. But if you go to A, you see the past as an educational experience, helping you to live the present time, and the future as a series of present moments you will live in full. So if you're living in the present, focusing on the responsibilities of your present, it's easier to develop a routine to do your courses. Oh, I need to read today. You're living in the present. You're not worried about the past. You're not worried about the future. I need to work on my course today, living in the present. So you can see a question like this will help you understand, in order to study, in order to develop a routine in your studies, you can understand that it's better to be in the present. What do I need to do now? Well, I need to sit down and I need to read chapter 1 in my book, and I need to write 1 page in my essay. Okay. You sit down, you read the chapter, and you write 1 page in your essay because you're living in the present. So these, as you go through these 38 questions, trying to see where it actually says 38 questions. Here. See step 13 of 38. I actually think there's 37 questions because step 1 is just an introduction. So you go through each of these steps. Oh, excuse me. Okay. So you go through all of these questions answering A, B, or C. And at the end, the course is complete and it gets submitted to your advisor for grading. Any questions about that? So that's the questionnaire. And you can do that at any time. Let's say you're in phase 2 and your program has gone inactive and you're having a hard time studying and you just can't seem to study. You just can't seem to sit down and write out an assignment because you're the only one there and there's nobody making you do it. Well, go back to phase 1, complete the questionnaire. And remember why it's important to study. And remember some of these challenges that you will face. Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just worried about the past, or I'm worried about the future. I'm worried about something else. And that's keeping me from studying. Just go back to phase 1 and do a course that you haven't done, like the questionnaire maybe. And then that kind of helps you in phase 2. I'm kind of giving you some insights to phase 1 and how to really make phase 1 relevant, important, and useful for you. So let's move on to the next course. That was the first optional course, questionnaire. Second one going to be development of a graduate study, guarantee of an academic degree. Now this course receives 2 credits because it's a little more extensive. It takes more thinking to complete this course. In this course, you will fill in a matrix that describes how 5 educational tracks in your life relate to 5 areas of your life. So the matrix gives you and us a perspective of how your AIU education will impact your life in many areas. So you will fill in each box of the matrix. And as I'm thinking about this, I'm going to take you to the course right here in the center, development of graduate degree, guarantee of an academic degree. I'm going to show you, and I think the best way to really describe this course so that you can see what you need to do. Many students get confused about how to complete this course. I'm going to show you the example. Let it come up here. Hopefully you'll be able to read this. It's probably too small for you to read, but this is the matrix that you will fill out. And you'll see that there are 5 columns and 5 rows, so 25 boxes. So you have to fill in 25 boxes of this matrix to complete the course. Now, the first column is personal and social education. So, personal and social education talks about you as a person living in society. How are you as a person going to function and be productive in society? And then you go down the column and there's going to be 5 areas of your life that relate to your development as a person, as a social being. And the first one is to themselves, second one is to their academic activity, and then third one is to their professional activity, fourth one is to the development of their country, and the fifth one is to internationally. So, you as a person, how do you, so the first box in that column would be how do you as a person develop your social skill? Second box down, how, as you as a person, how do you socially relate to your academics? For example, let's say you want to study, but your phone keeps ringing, or someone keeps texting you, or you have responsibilities with the family, and maybe you're a mother, and the baby keeps wanting your attention, and you can't study. How are you going to develop these social skills, be able to focus on your studies? And so you write in that second box down in that first column how you plan to basically tell the world, I need a moment to study. How are you going to organize that? How are you going to say, my courses are important. I need to complete my courses. Please, I need 2 hours alone. How are you going to do that? So you can write an answer there. Is that even a problem? If it's a big problem, how are you going to take care of that? So you fill in that box. And then the third one down is to your professional activity. Well, when you get on the job, what kind of social skills are you going to develop for your job? And come down to the fourth one, in your country. What kind of social skills will you bring to your country? How will you be productive? How will you improve your community? Even if you have a job as an accountant or a project manager or a teacher, are you going to be doing any curricular communal activities? Are you going to be doing any volunteering? Are you going to be involved in a social project? And how will you bring your social skills to that? Will you volunteer? Will you connect people? So that's just one column, and then internationally. The fifth one down will be internationally. How is you as a person? How can you bring your social skills to the international arena, forum? Maybe you just want to go on to an international blog for accountants and participate internationally with other international accountants. And socially, that's part of your education. You're keeping in contact internationally with developments in accounting around the world. So you'll see that along the top there are 5 educational tasks. And as you go down the rows, each of those tasks relates to yourself or to your studies academically or to your job or to your country or to international relationships. So just to go across the top, you'll have your personal and social education. That's the first educational task. The second one, methodological and instrumental education. So that's the specifics of your education. How are you going to really research and find the information for your education? How are you going to stay in touch with updates? And then the next third column over is scientific education. And that's really going to talk about developing the ability to research and develop the knowledge in your major. Is that even a concern of yours? Or you just want to learn, get a job, and move on? Or do you want to develop more of a scientific approach where you're continuing towards a master's and a doctorate, doing thesis work in education, research, and methodologies of research, developing statistics, questionnaires, developing surveys, and developing the tools you need to do research so that you can, let's say, for example, you're in public health. You can learn about public health, nutrition, diseases, family hygiene, government services, how to find people, how to bring them medicine, how to fund programs. That's all about public health. But maybe there's a disease in a community that no one's researched yet. You can go into that community with a questionnaire, gather information, and then write a research paper about it and present it to your country or even internationally. So is that part of your plan? Is that something you want to do? You write it into this matrix. And then the fourth column over is work, education, and experience. That's just basically how are you going to keep developing your job skills. And then the fifth one over, participation in work culture. How are you going to participate? What kind of conversations do you want to have? What kind of relationships do you want to have? You want to stay in touch with your professors at AIU. Let's say you've graduated and you move on. You want to stay in touch with us. You want to keep asking us for books or help or things like that. Or do you want to just keep focusing on people in your community and develop relationships? So that's a matrix. So you fill out that matrix to really describe how you want to live in all these different areas of life. Okay? It's kind of complicated, I know, but if you just kind of break it down into the little boxes and try to understand, say, how scientific education relates to your professional activity. So you go the third column over, third row down, scientific education, how does that relate to my professional activity? Well, on my job, I want to be able to do research. I want to incorporate research into my job. So I'm going to have to work out some sort of agreement with my employer or with the government to be able to do research and be able to publish. Or you might write in there, I don't want to do research. I just want to get a job and I just want to do my work. So I'm not going to really be focused on that research. So, just figure out what you want to do, and it helps you get an idea of where you're going. That's the whole purpose of Phase 1 courses. All right. On to the next course. I'm still looking to see if there are any questions. Third course is the integration chart. In this course, you list the knowledge, skills, and competencies from the different study areas that you can integrate into your course. But it's basically, you're getting an idea of, well, let's say you are studying environmental science, and you're going to want to do projects with the government. Well, you can study environmental science, courses for environmental science, But maybe you think you want to integrate. That's where this idea of integration chart comes in. You want to integrate some courses with public administration, project management, how to hire personnel for a project, how to plan a project, and maybe even some business administration. And maybe you even want to do a course in marketing, for example. See, main courses are environmental science, but you want to integrate these other courses from project management to marketing so that you can develop these government projects, programs with the government. So that's where the integration chart comes in, so that you begin to know what other disciplines, what other subjects, university you can integrate into your core courses. Okay. Hope that is clear. Let me know if you have a question on that. Course number 4, Fundamental Principles 1, Philosophy of Education. This gets 2 credits. In this course, you write 1,000 words describing your philosophy of education. Now, this is something you can do at any time. In phase 2, in phase 3, in phase 4. But it's good to, the philosophy education is a good course because it gives you the chance to do kind of your first essay. Make it down here, the lower left, fundamental principle, philosophy of education. So if you haven't written an essay in a while, maybe years, and you're feeling uncomfortable about how to write an essay, well, you can come here, do this online, and as it says right here, describe your own philosophy of education. What education means to you and how it can be achieved. What method of learning you believe is the best. What advantages distance and personalized learning has. You might also want to include in there the challenges to distance learning, which is the main challenge is self-discipline. You need to have the discipline to study with a routine. And my way of thinking is study every day and work on your assignment every day. In that kind of routine, you'll move really fast. That's the big challenge. But here, I digress. You'll note a 1,000-word response is required for this assignment. If we only see a 200-word response, the grade can go from an A down to a B or down to a C. You'll get 2 credits for the course. But if you don't do 1,000 words, you'll get a lower grade. Keep that in mind. So as you're typing, let's say, my philosophy of education is, as you're typing, go down here, and you'll see words 0. And you think, I don't know how many words I've done. Well, just come back up here, select what you've written, and now you'll see that you've written 5 words. See that? You have 995 more words to go. Talk about your philosophy of education. How important is education? What advantages does it give you? How important is it to the future of your country? And then talk about distance learning. But you want to, develop your skills for essay writing so that every idea that you want to talk about becomes a different paragraph. If you want to talk about the challenges to learning online, that's a paragraph. If you want to talk about how education can improve your country, that's another paragraph. You talk about that. So every different idea that you want to talk about becomes a different paragraph. That's just basic English right there. So this course, Philosophy of Education, is a good course just to practice writing. You haven't written paragraphs in a while. So any questions about that? No questions. Okay. Let's go back here to the courses. I think there's one more course, optional course to look at. The professional evaluation matrix receives 1 credit. In this course, you rate the 10 most important skills and abilities that you need in your profession. So maybe it's leadership, maybe it's management, maybe it's research, maybe it's statistics, maybe it's cooperation, and then you rate it from 1 to 5. I think it's rated from 1 to 5, and you'll see it in this evaluation matrix. Show it to you. Let's see, evaluation matrix, the last one down here. Let's see, I don't see any more questions. Let me know if you have any more questions. So, in order to see this evaluation matrix, I'll show you the example. Taking a little bit to boot in here. Feel free to ask any questions. Here it comes. You'll see there we go. Okay. So, self-evaluation matrix. You'll see over here on the left 10 skills or abilities that you can use in your job. Leadership, entrepreneurship, organizational skills, people skills, worldly knowledge, assertive, good judgment, team player, aggressive, creative. These are all different skills and abilities. And then they're rated from 1 to 5. Student, you rate it yourself. And then you find person A, person B, and person C. So you find 3 other people to rate those 2. And then, so down below, you'll actually write who you are. In this case, it says the president. Or the person A here is the co-worker. Person B is the vice president, and person C is an administrative assistant. This is just an example here. But maybe person A is a friend of yours, or person B is another student, and person C might be someone who works in your profession. What you find, you rate these skills from 1 to 5, and then then you get person A, B, and C, 3 people to rate them 2, and then you submit that document, and you've completed the course. And the idea in this course is just to give you an idea of the skills. And it's not just personal skills. You can see personal skills that are like leadership, people skills, assertive. Those are kind of behavioral skills. But you can also add in there research, statistics, specific knowledge that you need in your job and how important it might be. Accounting, if you're in environmental science, how important is accounting? So anything you think would be important, you can put there. Anything you think would apply, you can put it there and then rate it to how important it is. Okay, I don't see any questions about that. Let's go back to presentation. Submitting assignments is the next thing we're going to talk about. Many courses of phase 1 can be submitted offline. So what does it mean an assignment offline. This tutorial has shown you how to complete a Phase 1 course online through your student section. That's here. Let me see if I can get back over here. There. Right here in that step 4, that's where you can submit courses online through a course. And to submit a course offline is you come up here in that dark blue box up here to the upper left. Here, let me see if I can kind of blink it. And so I just click Submit Assignment, and then down here, you can pick your assignment. Let's say you're in a master's program, and you want to submit your bachelor's diploma degree from another university or school. Click on Portfolio. You can go online and see that step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, where you can submit offline, right here. And then what comes up is you click right here where it says drag and drop a file. You click right there, and then you can find the file in your computer of the document. Maybe it's a photo of your bachelor's degree or your high school diploma. And you just upload it right there. Then you go down, you go upload for grading. So that's how you upload, that's how you submit a course offline. So here it is. So you can submit a course online. However, maybe you want to write your autobiography in a Word document and save that file to your computer. Or maybe you have it ready to submit. Then you can just submit that offline. Just go to Submit an Assignment, grab that file, upload it, and upload it for grading. Or maybe you want to write your 1,000 words on your philosophy of education in a Word document. Okay, you can practice writing an essay on a Word document because you're going to do that philosophy education course for 2 credits, 1,000 words. And you just select that, click on Submit an Assignment, select philosophy of education, find the file, upload it, and then click on the box for upload for grading. So right here is this paragraph just explains what I just showed you online. In order to submit these files, you go to the dark blue box on your home page where it says Submit an Assignment. Click there. You will see a drop-down list to choose a course. Just choose the course that you want to submit. You will then be given the option to submit online or offline. The online option will take you to the 4 tabs shown before, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. The offline option will allow you to upload a file from your computer, and you submit the file for grading. All right? Don't see any more questions. Now, checking your grade. These are the instructions for checking the grade of an assignment. So let's say you've submitted something, and you're not sure if it was actually graded or approved, and you're not sure if you got credit for it. How do you check that? Well, over on here, on your student page, you'll see this quick menu to the left. You go under, click on Personal Information, and you'll see Transcript, PDF, or Transcript. Just come down to Transcript. Click on Transcript, and what you'll see is back over here so you can see it. Just happened. There. hold on one second. I got to get this to view so I can move this down. Okay, so this is how you find your transcript. Now, in this particular test page, no phase 1 assignments have been submitted. Nothing has been graded. So, transcript summary, total credits, 0. And you would see courses listed over here for any courses that have been completed and given credits. So you'll see the credit hours in this column, you'll see the grade in this column, and then you'll see the points. 4 points for an A, 3 points for a B, 2 points for a C, 1 point for a D. And then the credit hours times the points gives you the GPA. So, and down here will be the grade point average, the GPA. If it's 4.0, you've got A's in all of your courses. If you've got 3.0 for the GPA, you've averaged a B in all of your courses. If you have 3.5, you've averaged between a B and an A. So just a quick summary of that for you. Let's see, I don't see any questions in the chat box. Feel free to ask questions at any point. So let's say you have submitted your questionnaire and you want to know what grade you got and how many credits. You can come here to the transcript that you have received, that it has been approved, that it is showing up on your transcript. You have a grade and you have 1 credit for the course. The credit hours will be 1 credit hour for the questionnaire course. Let's say you did the resume. You submitted the resume. Then you'll see the comprehensive resume course listed over here to the left. And you'll see credit hours, which should be 2 credit hours, and a grade. A is excellent, B is good. And then, so you'll see that it has been graded and you have received credit. So this is how you verify that your courses have been approved and given credit. If they do not appear on the transcript, you need to ask your advisor or your tutor, I submitted a course in phase 1, but I don't see credits for it. And then we check in when we find out what happened. So keep that in mind. Okay, no more questions. Let's keep moving forward. Okay, so checking your grade. These are the instructions for checking the grade of your assignment. It's just what I showed you. On your student homepage, go to the menu on the left, look under personal information. You'll see an option for transcript. Click there. You will then see your transcript with all courses that have been, also see the grades and the credit event for each course. The advisors will grade your assignment within 48 hours. Okay, so that's how you check your grades. Just go to your transcript. Make sure they're on your transcript. That's how it works. And now, the conclusion. Okay, let's just go through a couple of ideas here. Remember that you must submit a course within every 30 days to stay active in your AIU program, academically active. Even if you cannot make a tuition payment in a certain month, always submit an assignment. That way you will maximize your education. So let's say it takes you a little longer to make your tuition payments. Keep doing your courses because you'll end up with more courses at the end. You can always do more courses than is necessary to graduate. It's good. If you have more time, if you need more time to pay off your tuition, just do more courses. You'll learn more. Your transcript will look a lot better. You'll see all these other courses that have been added in. And when you show an employer your transcript, you can say, I've done all these different courses too. Or you have integrated more courses into your program. So just always stay active. Just keep thinking, every month I'm going to submit an assignment. And all those assignments will add up and will appear on your transcript. Okay? Now, If you want to start your phase 2 courses faster, just complete the 3 required courses of phase 1 and move on to phase 2. And you can always come back, like let's say your program goes inactive academically, you can come back to phase 1 and do some of those 5 optional courses just to reactivate your program, just to keep it active in the computer system. Remember, all in all, you get, the 3 required courses will give you 4 credits. If you do all of the 5 optional courses, you'll get another 7 credits. Okay, 10 credits in all is possible in phase 1. The courses presented in phase 1 allow us to know who you are. We can see your work history, educational history, cultural history, plans for the future, and your philosophies about education. We can also see some of the other courses and subjects that we need to integrate into your program. So the phase 1 is an important phase. That's why we have it. That's why we developed all these courses for phase 1, because they really do help develop the curriculum courses that you need to really develop the skills and knowledge to do the best job that you can. So we look forward to knowing you and supporting your education. That is the end of this webinar. I will sit here and wait for questions. Any questions that you have. Think of a question, any question. Something that you want to know about, something that you're not clear about. Okay. Adrian has a question. It says, if I have further questions of phase 1, should I contact you or a tutor? Well, first you go to your tutor, because they specifically work with you. They are your tutor, and they will get you what you need. So first go to your tutor. Many times if the tutor has a problem, they come to me. And if they may need more information for you, and I find that information. So you can also contact me directly. But you should always first go to your tutor. I will put my AIU email here so that if you have a question, you can email me. So you can see my email right there. If you need something, if you have a question, if you have trouble uploading a document or something, I can help you. I'm always help. And I want it done right. I want everything submitted correctly, because then it makes it so much easier for everybody, so that mistakes don't have to be corrected. So that's why it's sometimes, if you're having a problem in an assignment and it just didn't submit right, I want to help you. I want to fix the problem. Okay, any other questions? If there are no questions, then then we are coming to the end here. There's a question here. Are we expecting to get any credits for this webinar? Or service hours? That's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to that question. The only way you can get credits for a course in AIU is by uploading a document. So every course that we just went through even the phase 1 courses, and all of the phase 2 and all of the phase 3 courses, every course needs a document to verify that the course, or to verify that you did the course, or that you learned the knowledge, or that you have the knowledge. So if you want to get credit for this webinar, you could actually write a report about it, 1 to 3 pages, and then an assignment of 1 to 3 pages can get 1 credit. You just write a report about it and submit it as phase 1 webinar orientation or something like that, and you write a report about it. In the email here's another question from BFCs. In the email we received about the webinar, it said we would get service hours. Okay, if you get service hours about that, I actually don't know the answer to that question. In that case, contact your tutor and I will find out about how to do this. Best thing for me to do is to write down your names, everybody here, and I can validate that you were here, and I will find out how to give you service hour credits. Only problem I see is I don't know the last name of Beatrice, so I don't know how to find you in the system. So you have my my AIU email. You can write me at my email and let me know that you were here, and I can verify that you get service hours for this webinar. I will make sure that happens. Okay. Any other questions? I have a question coming in from Adrian. Okay. No thanks. I think we're coming to the end here. I want to thank you all for showing up. The questions really help. The questions really help because when other students, I am recording this webinar. It will be available as a link later. You can come back and watch it. Other students will come back and watch this webinar. So your questions help the students in the future who will watch this webinar. So it is wonderful to have your questions on. So thank you for coming. And if you have any more questions, you can contact your tutor or me. Can't think of anything else to say except be good, be blessed, have a wonderful day, and we're here to help you. And we are inspired by your development. We're inspired by your education. I mean, truly. When I see assignments, it really is inspiring. When I read the stories, when I read the lives, and I read the experiences, and I read the challenges that people go through to develop their assignments, it really is inspiring. And the level of knowledge, we love our job, so here we are for you. And we got books for you, lots of information. We do our job to make your education an enjoyable and fruitful and productive experience so that in the future you are fruitful and productive and enjoyable as a person working and being productive in your community. So I think that's it, everybody. We're to say bye. And I think that's it. Okay, don't see any more questions. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for joining.